Hello, everybody. Welcome along to what is a dysfunctional preview. What I will say is I'm sorry for the echo, and I am sorry that this one is going to be a lot shorter than what you would typically expect. That is because I have been asked to do an open evening at my sixth form, so I am staying where I am. So that I don't have to go home just to come back again. So I'm here now. So I got here about 8:20 this morning. I'm going to be here until 7 o'clock. So I've got a long day in store. But welcome to the preview. I'm doing this from my phone. So that's why there's the two black bars on the side of each of the screen. Once again, I'm sorry about that. It's just the circumstance that we are in tonight. Hello, Josh. How are you? Max, nice to see you, mate. Lucas, good to hear from Mr. Smallwood. And where the podcast. Hey, look, what I'll say about the podcast is, look, it was good fun, but times move on. Ethan's very busy now. Technically, we are at the same sixth form, but we're on different sites, so it's not as possible. And look, just times change. I'm very busy now. Yeah, I would like to bring it back on the odd occasion, but we'll see. So I'm going to have to crack straight through this, and I haven't got any screens to share because it's on my phone. So I have a list here of everything I have to go through. I'll still try and do the banners where I can because I can control them from my phone. But team news, I've not written all of this out on the banner because it's easy to just write it down here. So Slater is back from suspension. Callum Elder has been training. He missed the Birmingham game. And Andy Dawson expects him to be back for this game, but if he's not back for this game, he will almost certainly be back for Rotherham at the weekend. Louis Coyle missed out through illness at the weekend. Andy Dawson said he's been chatting to the doctor and he will probably be okay. And then Dokan Sinek, they're hoping he'll be fine. It's only a sore calf. It's not a pull or a tear or anything like that. But he is a major doubt for this game. And my personal belief is that Dokan will not play, purely because we don't want to risk another injury at this stage of the season. Brandon Fleming and Harvey Vale closing in on a return. Harvey Vale is he's still at Chelsea at the moment. He's still at Chelsea, but Andy Dawson says he'll be back with the City group in the next sort of week and a half, 2 weeks or so. Fleming, I think they'll give him a few more run-outs for the under-21s. They next play on Monday at the Ferraby's ground at the Dransfield Stadium. I think Fleming won't be too far away from a return at all. So Cannon, Tete, Scott, Traore and Emmanuel are all not registered. Tete injured, Scott injured, Traore injured, Emmanuel absent. So that leaves Cannon, Tete, Scott, Salah, Syed Manesh, Traore, Coville and Emmanuel all absolutely, definitely absent for this game. I'll have a quick look at the comments. Rotherham away. Yes, I am going to Rotherham away. Yeah, completely can do, mate. If I see you, of course. Odds on us getting Sean Dyche, Lucas, are incredibly, incredibly slim indeed. There's Kieran coming up here. I might try. Kieran's a big City fan. Might see if he wants to get in the preview. I think if he comes towards where I am, right at the back of the reading room, sure. In case you're wondering where I am in my sixth form, by the way, I'm in what's known as the reading room. Nice quiet space out the back. Thought I'd come in here because there's not going to be many people around, and if I'm doing it up in the cafe, a lot of people will look. And I thought it's nice and it's easiest for me to just sit here and talk to you lot, surrounded by massive dictionaries there, textbooks. I'm propping my phone up with a biography, about Tony Blair, an A-level geography textbook, and a book by William Wordsworth. who was a poet for a little bit years ago. So yeah, and then there's a lot of books behind me about the Third Reich and a certain Austrian man. So I'm surrounded by a whole mix of people. Max, I won't say, but I'll message you privately, pal. If you know anyone with an orange lanyard, that'll give you away. I would take this off, but there we go. I've just shown it. I would take this off, but I'm not allowed, and I am sticking to all the rules. So, Ref Watch. The referee is a bloke called Josh Smith. The two liners are Sean Hudson and Mark Dwyer. The fourth official is Jeremy Simpson. On to stats, where obviously I've not got the whole thing to show you, but I'll just go for that. We key ones from the Birmingham game. We had 68% of possession and had 12 shots, only 2 of which were on target. Quickly through to head-to-head, I've picked out 3 players for Blackpool who are pretty good. Charlie Patino on loan from Arsenal. Jerry Yates scored last time out against Sheffield United. And Marvin Ekpateta, who, yes, I know is suspended. So we can breathe about that one because he got sent off against Sheffield United, as did another Blackpool player as well. Ekpateta suspended, and thank the Lord. Right, moving on to the inside of my notes now for current form, where Blackpool's last 5 were a 2-1 defeat to Millwall, a 1-0 defeat to Norwich, a 0-0 draw with Sunderland, a 3-1 win over Slavan Bilic's Watford, and then a 3-3 draw with Sheffield United last time out. City's record is a 3-0 defeat to Swansea, 2-0 defeat to Luton, a 2-1 win over Wigan, a 2-0 defeat to Huddersfield, and a 2-0 defeat to Birmingham. Will reckons we'll win. Will reckons we'll win. Wow. League table wise, I've only got the notes of where the 2 teams are. So Blackpool are in 19th place in the table on 16 points, 2 points clear of Hull City, who are down in 21st on just the 14. Bugger off, you stupid fly. Which is still more points than we had at this stage last year. Around the grounds then. This is good. We're getting through this at the quickest pace I've ever gone, purely because I don't want to use too much data. But today, the 7:45 kickoffs are Huddersfield versus Preston, Norwich versus Luton, and Swansea versus Reading. The 8 o'clock kickoffs today are Blackburn versus Sunderland, Stoke versus Rotherham, and West Brom versus Bristol City. Tomorrow, the 7:45 kickoffs are Birmingham versus Burnley, Blackpool versus us, of course, Coventry versus Sheffield United, QPR versus Cardiff, and Wigan versus Middlesbrough. And the 8 o'clock kickoff in the Championship on Wednesday is Millwall versus Watford. The memorable match that I've gone for is from the 15th of December 2020 when we were in League One, when we visited Blunfield Road, wore that white and blue third kit for what I think was I think we only wore that 3 times. This was one of them, and we lost in it. 3-2 defeat to Blackpool. Our goals were scored by Malik Wilkes and Reece Burke. Our team that day was Matt Ingram in goal, a back 4 of Louis Coyle, Reece Burke, Jacob Greaves and Callum Elder. Midfield 3 was Richie Smallwood, Greg Doherty and Regan Slater. The front 3 was Malik Wilkes on the right, James Scott on the left and Tom Eaves leading the line. The bench was George Long, Dan Batty, Josh Emmanuel, Hakiba Delican, Sean McLaughlin, Keane Lewis Potter and Josh McGuinness. Manager, of course, was Grant McCann. And last time out, it was a 1-0 defeat on New Year's Day this year at Blunfield Road. 1-0 defeat. Our team that day was Nathan Baxter in goal. The back 3 was Deshaun Bernard, Sean McLaughlin and Jacob Greaves. On the right was Ryan Longman. On the left was Callum Elder. 3 central midfielders were Richie Smallwood, George Honeyman and Greg Doherty. And then the 2 strikers were Keane Lewis Potter and Josh McGuinness. The bench, Harvey Carrick was the sub-goalkeeper. Then Tom Eaves, Andy Cannon, Randell Williams, Matt Smith, Brandon Fleming and Tyler Smith made up the bench. Of course, Grant McCann in charge at that time. That was when we found out that the takeover was all but done. We'd have to wait another 16 days before it was confirmed. And then our record against these lot isn't great. I've only taken the last 4 because they're the only 4 representative measures that we can take from, because we played them in our League One season and we played in our our championship season last year. So it was a 3-2 defeat in December 2020 away in League One before a 1-1 draw at home in League One a month later. And then moving forward into the Championship, a 1-1 draw at home on the 28th of September last year. Goal scorer Tom Eaves off the bench. And then on the 1st of January this year, New Year's Day, with a 1-0 defeat at Blumfield Road. We'll finally move over. Oh, I didn't get shared shirts written down. Oh, for God's sake. I knew there was something I'd missed, but I didn't write it down, shared shirts. Oh, for God's sake. I knew I'd missed something. That's so frustrating. Anyway, my predicted 11 for what Andy Dawson will play. I think it will be Nathan Baxter in goal. The back four will be Louis Coyle, Tobias Figueiredo, Jacob Greaves, and Callum Elder. And then I think the midfield three will be Seri, Tufan, and Slater, with I think Doherty on the right because he played in there last week. Pelkas on the left and Oscar leading the line. The bench that I predict, I think, will be Ingram, Jones, Woods, Longman, McLaughlin, Christie, and Will Jarvis. However, my wanted 11 is where it gets good. So I would go for, in goal, Timothy Lotatala. Right back, I'd go for Cyrus Christie. 2 centre-backs, I'd go for Xavier Simons and Sean McLaughlin. Left back, I'd go for Callum Elder. My midfield three would be Seri, Doherty, and Slater. Then I'd go for Longman on the right after I gave him a little pep talk before the game the other day. Spoke to him, great lad, don't attack him. Pelkas on the left and Oscar leading the line. My bench would be Baxter, Coyle, Greaves, Tufan, Woods, Will Jarvis, and Jim Sims. I've not changed the banner, so there's my wanted 11. And finally, predicted score. It's weird that I'm more confident for Rotherham at the weekend than I am for Blackpool, even though Rotherham are higher in the table. I just don't think we'll have a good day at all. I think it's going to be a 2-0 defeat, sadly. Not positive at all. But now I'm going to have to dash and go and help set up some stuff. So it's been a pleasure, everyone. A quick 12 and a half minutes. Thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.